Good morning to all of you. Here, I am Nitin Vashne. I'm going to discuss the second part of machine learning. So, we can start now. In first part, we learned that what is the machine learning and what is the brief description of the machine learning and in which parts it will be divided. Now, we can further classify it into the form of learning. So, there are three types of learning in the machine learning. First is supervised, another is unsupervised, and third one is reinforcement learning. So supervised learning means the learning which should be undertaken in supervisor. Okay, means which learning the learning, or we can say that algorithm which have already predefined outputs we have, that is called a supervised learning. But in unsupervised learning there is no supervisor or there is no desired output. Okay, the output will be changed according to the algorithm or the trained data. Now reinforcement learning, the reinforcement learning is used for the sequence of action according to their rewards. Means which type of rewards you have according to your action, then the sequence of action should be changed in every timestamp. Okay, now what is the supervised learning? It is a type of machine learning which is called our well labeled training data. Means in supervised learning we have already input which should be labeled, or we can say that trained data, or these trained data should be put into the machine classifier, or we can say that algorithm feeding, then we get a desired output. You can see the diagram of machine learning supervised algorithm. We have a label data. You can see that in a square we have a hexagon, we have a square, and we have a triangle. Okay, now we have a model trainer and predictor, and we in predictor we have already given that tested data should be square and rectangle. So the label data set will be applied to the model training, and this model training give the prediction, and according to the tested data should be matched in the label data. So we have a square and we have a rectangle. Okay, so we can differentiate between the hexagonal and square and rectangle, sorry, triangle. Then it will be again fitted into the model training and labeled, named as hexagon, square, and triangle. There are some steps involved in supervised learning. That is, first of all, you collect a different training data. Okay, not a raw data, we have a different trained data. Then this trained data is divided into many parts. One is trained data, tested data, and validated data sets. Then we are going to input the features of training data set and predicted the output knowledge. Then suitable algorithm we can use for uh, classify, or we can say that regrade our regression or of our model, that is support vector machine and decision tree, etc. Now, the supervised learning is further divided into two parts, that is regression and another is classification. Now, what is the regression? The regression algorithm is used between to find the relationship between the two different types of variables. One is the dependent variables and another is independent variables. Okay, where it is used in forecasting, weather forecasting, market trends. You see the share market, that if uh, this price is gone to how much, then what is the profit or loss. Okay, now what is the type of regressions? Linear regression, regression trees, non-linear regression, Bayesian linear regression, and polynomial regression. These are the types of regressions. Now what is the classification? The classification means to classify different classes. Okay, or we can say that we can divide the objects or obtained data into the different types of classes. Okay, they have similar type of classes. For example, if you have bunch, if you have oranges, apple, and banana in box, so for by using the classification algorithm, or we can say the classifier, we should easily classes the three different fruits into their categories, that is apple in another classes, oranges in another classes, and banana in another classes. Okay, so what is the algorithms used in classification? That is random forest, decision tree, and logistic regression, and support vector machine. Now, what is the unsupervised learning? We already discussed that there is no supervisor required in unsupervised learning. Okay, it should be learned by their raw data, or we can say that it should be learned by their own. You can see that we have input raw data, that is unlabeled data. We can't know that who is dog, who is cat. Okay, so we apply input data, raw data, into the interpretation. Then we have algorithms. These algorithms will classify it. Then we can classified data should be processed, and now we have a classify these categories, these two categories of dogs and cats. The types of supervised algorithm, there are another two types of supervised algorithm. One is clustering and another is association. Now, the clustering is used to grouping the objects into the clustered. According to the name, clustering means you have a different type of clusters, and if you want and if you get a new data, so you can easily understand that which clusters it belongs. Association. Basically, the association is used to finding the relationship between the variables in large data sets. For example, you always see the example that a equals to b and b equals to c, so we can tends to that a equals to c. This type of association rules are used in unsupervised learning methods. For example, if you are going to the market and you buy butter or you jam, so the probability of buying the bread is very high, so it is called the associative rule. Unsupervised learning algorithm is k-mean clustering, knn, k nearest neighbor, hierarchical clustering, anomaly detection, neural networks, principal component analysis, independent component analysis, a priori algorithms, singular value decomposition. Now, third one is the reinforcement learning. In this reinforcement learning, we have a different types of word, that is reward, output, action, states, etc. These all these are used to perform any task. Means if you take any action, then your action should be negative or positive. So according to this negative or positive output, you should get the reward positive or negative. If you get the positive reward, then go ahead, or if you get the negative reward, move backward again, take another action and take a positive reward. Example of the reinforcement learning is credit assignment problems, game playing. You all of you are playing a game like chess. If you take a wrong move, then you can again undo this method. This is called a reinforcement. So you can see the example of environment in agent environment interfaces. So what is that? The agent will be actioned according to the environment, and this environment again r plus 1, that is action is 80, and we have a r plus 1 and state is t plus 1, means the reward add हुआ है उसमें एक स्टेप आगे गया है, then state is also increased by 1. So we have a timeline statement in below. You can see that at state t, action at, and reward, we can perform a reward with timestamp plus 1. So the state is st plus 1, action is at plus 1, and reward is t plus 2. Now another timestamp, we can say that state is st plus 2, action is a t plus 2, and reward is t plus 3. Similarly, this timeline is still going on until unless we get Sn, An, Rn plus 1. Okay. The Mario, all of you play the game Mario. This is the best example of reinforcement learning, in which you many times you get a positive rewards to clicking the coins, and sometimes you get a negative rewards by touching these small monsters. Okay. Now what is the softwares, and which type of softwares are used in the machine learning? So we are going to hear that Veka, Apache Spark Machine Learning Lab, RapidMiner, H2O.ai, Shogun, KNMI, or Orexi2, Apache Mahout, PyTorch, TensorFlow, and Keras. Up now we have also Sublime and Anaconda Navigator. This navigator will ease our coding and provide a multiple libraries. Okay. Now top 10 machine learning tools are scikit-learn. All the different types of libraries are present in the scikit-learn: NLTK, PyTorch, Keras, Apache Spark, Essays, NumPy. The NumPy is used to perform any numerical value in the machine learning. So at that time you should import the NumPy, or you can say write that NumPy as num. MLR, XGBoost, and Show. Thank you. Hope you understand the things. Thank you and have a nice day.